Okay, so what we got in front of us here is a Toshiba laptop. It was made about 10 years ago. We're going to boot up to Arch Linux. We're going to use the iwctl in order to connect to the Wi-Fi. I'm going to set up SSH and I'm going to install Arch Linux via SSH from my main computer, which should allow me to just copy and paste those commands into the terminal. Actually, it will. iwctl. Now we say device space list, device list. There is my device, the WLAN 0, about the middle of the screen there. Okay. WLAN, you need to write that down or remember it, that is your device. So now we're going to say station, the device name, WLAN 0, SCAN. Hit enter. Now that's running in the background. Now we're going to say station. So now we're going to run on station WLAN 0, get networks. There's my network listed. Now it's time to connect, so station WLAN 0, connect, then your network. Make sure you type it in exactly the way it's spelled for you there. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to ask me for my password. If all goes well, we are connected. Now, I can type in exit or just Control D. We'll clear that screen. Down some. Ping. archlinux.org. Hit enter. And as you can see, we are online. I'll Control C to interrupt that signal. Now it's time to set up SSH. SSH comes in with Arch ISO now, so pacman space -q, and we're going to say open SSH, and as you'll see, it is there. So now we need to find out the status of it. So we go system ctl status sshd. So now we're going to find out the status. Open SSH, hit enter with systemctl status space SSD HD, and you can see that it's there, but it is not active, it is disabled. So now we're going to turn it on. So we're going to say system CTL enable SSHD space, we're going to say -- now. Hit enter. The symlink saying it's done. Now if we up arrow and bring the status back and hit enter, you'll see that it's active and running. Okay, so now we need our IP address, and we're going to say IP space A and hit enter. Let's see if I can get that up a little higher. Hopefully that's in focus there. Down near the bottom, about 4 lines up, it says inet 192.168.118. We're going to need that. And the next thing we're going to need to complete this is we're going to need a password, so PASSWD. And in this case, I'm going to specify root. We got password root, and I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to have to confirm it. I'm going to enter it, hit enter, and then confirm it. And it should be up to date. Updated successfully. That completes this trip. What I needed to do here, now I'm going to SSH into it from my home computer and install Arch Linux. Okay, hello there. Who am I? I am Dennis. Now I'm on my host machine. I've brought up my Arch Linux installation guide, and I've also brought up a terminal. Now I need to find out if I have SSHD service running. So in order to do that, let me go ahead and just get in the sudo super user or the administrative account. And now we'll say system ctl status sshd. Hit enter. Alright, so you can see right here I have it. It's just not running. It's inactive. Let me Q to clear that prompt, Control L to clear the screen. If I bring that back up, I can backspace, not backspace, but arrow, and change that to enable SSHD. Then I'm going to add this flag to say now and do it now. It created a symlink. Now if I up arrow and bring that status back, we should see right here it's active and it is running. Q will get me off of that prompt. Control L will clear the screen. I've already set up the iwctl on the other machine, and I know I'm online. And just to verify, you could ping anything you wanted. Control C stops that. Control L to clear the screen again. Both of us are online, the remote machine and the host machine. First thing you may not have is a large font. If you're doing this on a machine that the font is so small you have to go put on magnifiers to even read it, you can change those right now. And they're in the user share KBD console font. So let me copy that, come back down here and paste it into my terminal on the host machine. And there you can see a long list of fonts. This one right here is possibly the largest of the ones I have found, the large fonts. So if you want to just really beef it up, run this one right here, set font space Latar CYRHEB -Sun32 PSFU period GZ. This on here, let me make this huge. This ought to have been right there. It is in here, Latar, here it is. Sun32. And that's huge. So let me go well, clear the screen, put this back where I need it, bring back up my Arch guide, and I'll probably cut this part out. We set our font. If you needed a larger font, that's how you set it. You can verify if you're in UEFI, boot mode, or legacy. But first thing I need to do, and we've already verified that the status is active. Q, Control L. Now I've already set up SSH in the remote machine. So now I need to SSH into that machine. SSH space root is the name of that machine. And here we put the address 192.168.1.18. Then it's going to ask me, do I want to continue this on? And of course I'm going to say yes. It's going to create a fingerprint. And now it's asking me for the password that I set up for over on the other machine. Not my password on the host machine, but the password on your remote machine that you're trying to sign into. Okay, I gave it the password. I pressed enter, and there we go. We are connected. Now I'm going to Control L to clear the screen. And hopefully you can bear with me. I'm very new at trying to copy and paste and in the terminal and this kind of stuff, but I'll do the best I can. One way we can also find out, let me run lsblk, and we should see a SDA right here, 223. That is a solid state drive, reportedly 240 gigabytes, and it's registering 223. That's not my host machine, that is the remote machine. Okay, so another way we can find out is SS space. We're going to grep that so we don't get too much readout. It would be SS space grep space -I space SSH and hit enter. And there's the address that we just typed in when we signed into this other, we logged into the machine. That's it right there. So let me Control L, clear the screen. Now, at this point, we can get into the actual installation. One thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run this command if you're not sure if you're in UEFI mode or if you're in legacy BIOS mode. So it's ls space /sys space, or not space, slash firmware /EFI /FEVARS. And I'm going to hit enter and I'll get a whole bunch of readout because I am in UEFI mode. First thing we got to do is we know we're online, but I'm going to just check their connection now and make sure. Do that by doing Control-Shift-V. Hit enter, and we're going to ping 5 times. Now that's going through the remote machine. Control-L will clear my screen. I always thought it was a good idea to, once you make sure you're online, is to go ahead and sync with Pac-Man, and that was actually pretty fast. First command, we're going to update the system clock. So let me copy, let me paste. I love this. Okay, so now it's time to partition the disk, and I'm going to use CF disk. Instead of typing, I'm just going to copy and paste. Now, we're going to use the Z flag, as Mr. Esnix would have said. We're going to zap it and be able to create our own label type. And in this case, we're going to use GPT. Okay, now I'll make this larger while I'm doing this because it can't really help me. I'll show you the layout here in a second. So first thing we're going to need, though, is a EFI boot drive, and I'm going to give it 512 capital M and hit enter. Or arrow key to type and press enter. This is going to be our EFI system, which for me is at the top right there. Arrow down to the free space, hit enter. This machine has 16 gigabytes of RAM. I don't think it's ever going to use all of that, but if it does, we're going to give it, I'm sorry, not an M, but a G, 8 gigabyte. And type, slide over to type, hit enter, 8 gigabyte swap space. Enter. Now I'm going to arrow key down to the free space again. Now since this is a single drive on and it's only 215 gigs, I'm tempted, I want to use a home partition, however small it may be. But I just don't know because of the size of it. I'm going to elect not to divide this and just use the entire disk. If something happens later on and I decide I want a D drive or a data drive, I can do that through Gparted, I believe. So I'm going to press enter because all that's good. Everything's good. You don't have to select the type, and especially in EFI mode. But so we're ready to write. I'm going to arrow key over and press write and type in yes and hit enter. Okay, we're ready to quit. All right, let me clear the screen. Let me get back to where we can see the guide. Here's what I did. I have SDA 1, 2, 3, and 4. LS, BLK. I have, oh, no, I do not have the home drive, the SDA 4. I do have the 1, 2, and 3, just the root. All right, so now we need to format it. I am in UEFI mode, but if I was in legacy, my SDA 1 would have been swap. My SDA 2 would have been my root drive, and if I had a SDA 3, would have been my home. But I'm in UEFI, so I have a SDA 1 right here. I'm going to make a file system. I'm going to copy that. Come back to here. I'm going to clear the screen. Control-Shift-V. Hit enter, and I've made a file system. FAT32. Copy, paste, hit enter. Now I'm going to turn the swap on. This is clearly faster than typing for me. Hit enter. Swaps on. Now I only have a SDA3, so this will be the last for the formatting. Copy, paste, hit enter. And it says it's already got a. It's because I pulled the hard drive out of another system, put it in here. We're formatting our disk. While that's doing that, I'm going to slide up to here. We're going to mount our drives, but I'm not going to mount SDA1, the EFI drive. First thing I'm going to do, though, is mount SDA3. That's legacy mode. I'm sorry. I'm going to mount SDA3 to /MNT. When I get down here, let me clear the screen. Control L. Control Shift V, arrow key once to the left, hit enter. Now let's see if it got mounted. LSB OK. It is mounted and swap is on. SDA1, my EFI partition, I'm not doing anything to it other than formatting it. We're going to edit. Control L, Control Shift V, arrow, enter. I can make this large for a second. I'm in the wrong spot. Control X, cut. Control L. Mirror list. Okay. So Reflector is now installed on the ISO. And I'm going to go ahead and run Reflector. Copy and paste. Arrow key once, enter. I'll explain it here. We're going to run Reflector and --V space C. V is for verbose and -C is for country. And I selected United States and Canada. Age 24. The P is for protocol, HTTPS. And then this would be normal. --, sort, space, rate, space, --, save, space, and we're going to save it in /etcpacman.d/mirror list. We're complete down here. I'm going to go back to that and clear the screen. Okay. I'm going to edit. This is where I thought I was at. I'm going to edit my pacman.conf file. Do that. Copy and paste. Arrow key once, enter. Now I'll make it big. This is where I want it to be. And I'm going to change. Enter. And put ILOVECANDY. And that's I Love Candy. Total download. Go down here and uncomment. Multi-live. And remove multi-live. Control O and Nano writes it out. Enter to confirm. Control X to get out of here. Control L, clear the screen. Minimize. Now, it's time to run packstrap. Now here you can see I put I in parentheses and that stands for interactive. Just like when you install any other Pacman package, it'll reach a point, it'll collect everything, and then it'll ask you, do you proceed? And that's exactly what, if you put the I in there, that's exactly what'll happen here. I'm going to just copy and paste that. And then take the I out for interactive. Give myself one space, and I'm going to start. This is my packstrap. Packstrap programs that I want. So arrow, space. Oh, this is a lot faster than typing. Arrow, space. I'm going to put reflector in here because I'm not sure that it actually carries over at this point. Paste, arrow, space. Copy, paste, arrow, space. Since we're on a laptop, I'm going to get these wireless utilities. Uh-oh. It wouldn't work if I leave this out. That S right there, I missed it. Okay, so that's it. That's my base, what I call my base installation. So I can make this, let me make this bigger. And we'll go ahead and hit enter. It's 555 meg download, 2.2 gigabyte installation. Because I edited the pacman.conf file to show us the total progress, you can see on the far right there. Hopefully you can see. Let me make sure that it's in the center here. Yeah, there we go. And you should be able to see the total progress right here. I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back when it's finished. Okay, so it's through downloading, installing everything. It's on 250 out of 304. It's moving along pretty good. It is a SSD in that laptop. I can see the hard drive light on. And then it's build hook telling me I'm possibly missing that firmware right there. Be able to see when that's finished here. Okay, so we just run the packstrap command, which is a script to install all of these programs and any more you want to install. Next thing we're going to run is the genfs tab. Here you can see the hyphen capital U stands for UUID, or you can use capital L for labels. If you use the lowercase p, like you see me doing here, it includes the pseudo file system mount. Capital P would exclude those mounts. And you might ask, well, what is that? Well, pseudo means false. A false fake file system means a file system that doesn't have actual files. Rather, it has a virtual entries that the file system itself make up on the spot. You can find this right here on a real good article on it, and it'll explain even more better what this is. Okay, so it's finished down here. I'm going to go ahead and, while I'm here, and copy and paste, or copy the FS tab, get this back where I need it to be, so as not to be too confused. Get here, Control L to clear the screen, Control Shift B, arrow key, enter. Now, it's always a good idea, or at least the wiki says it is, to check that file, make sure that it got created. It did. We got SDA2, which is our swap. There is no mount point, and SDA3, which is our drive. So I'm going to Control L to clear the screen. Now we're ready to arch to root. We're going to change from the USB and RAM and enter onto the hard drive with this command right here, which I'm going to copy and paste. Arrow, enter. Now you can see that the prompt changed, which is cool. df-h. We've already got, SDA3 has already got 3 gigabytes used. Alright, now the next thing we need to do, since we've changed root over onto mount, which is our hard drive, Esnix likes to remove the local time, and I don't see no problem with doing it because it's not hurting. And you notice now that I don't have to hit the arrow key to clear the yellow patch. We're onto the hard drive. So we just removed our local time. We're going to add our own. In this case, it's ln space -sf space /user, USR, /shar share /zone info, one word, and America, Chicago. Now, when you type in zone info, if you're not sure about your country, when you type in zone info / double tap your tab key, a list of countries will come up. So then you repeat this command when you get to your country, in my case here, America, / double tab again, And it'll ask you, if you don't see what it's showing you, it'll ask you, do you want to see the whole list? And out of that whole list, you're going to find somebody somewhere pretty close. Then that would complete the command, and you go space /etc/local time. I'm going to hit enter. All right, now we got to set our hardware clock. Copy. This is beautiful. Paste. Hardware clock is now set. My pacman.conf file did not make the trip. It's back to the default setting. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that, make this large so you can see what I'm doing again. Well, the whole thing ain't expanding out. Went way past. Go. Miscellaneous. So I'm going to uncomment the color. Remove the octathorpe from total download. I'm going to hit enter and create a space and add the entry iwctl. Alright, now I'm going to get back over in the right lane there. And I'm going to also uncomment verbose package list. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here, near the bottom, and uncomment multi-lib. Both of those. So I'm going to Control O to write it out, Enter to confirm it, Control X to get out of there, Control L to clear the screen. Ready to copy and paste some more stuff. Now it's time to configure our locale. You're going to run this command, or in my case, copy and paste. I'm going to select my language. I should have made it bigger first. As an example, they use both ISO and UTF. And I don't see any problem with this, because when you run the locale -gen, the next step, you will see it does both of these. Control O to write it out, Enter to confirm, Control X to get out of here. The next command is locale -gen, and you'll see that it does both of those, US and UTF. Now we got to put that in our locale.conf. We can do that by just echoing it. You can do it a couple ways. You can run this command, echo language, your language, with a chevron greater than space etc, and put it in locale.conf. Or you can actually go there and physically type in that. But I'm good with just hitting enter and copy and pasting. Now we're going to part B there. We're going to export that language. Paste and copy. Okay, now we need to create a host name. A couple ways there. Again, you can echo your host name using the chevron and putting it in etc host name. Or we'll do it just the opposite of what we did a while ago. Open that folder up and add our host name. And I'm just going to give it a capital ARCH, and that's it. And I'm going to say Control O, Enter, Control X, get out of there, Control L to clear the screen. Wait a minute. What happened? Control O, Enter, Control X. I had no idea what just happened. I have to watch the video. Probably cut it out. Now we need to edit our hosts plural file, and we're going to do that by copying and pasting nano space etc hosts. We'll just copy this in. Let me get down there. We'll create a little space there. Paste. Then hit enter to get you back over here. And if I really knew what I was doing, I would just copy and paste all that at once. Enter to get back over there. And then this whole line here. Paste. Okay. So now I should be able to Control O, Enter, and Control X to get out of there. All right. Here it says we need a password. I can just type that in, PASSWD. Now this is for the root password. The next step is to add a user, give him some groups to belong to, and we're going to create a password. Now, if you was interested to see in all the groups, you could run this right here. Copy, Control-Shift-V, hit enter. Here's your long list of all the groups. Not all, yeah, all. At this point, all. Control-L to clear that screen. We're going to do this, just copy. Instead of me doing all that typing, I get to copy and paste. I do not want a space down there at the end. And then leave out the username right there. Control-Shift-V. And then space. And then my username's going to be Dennis. Was that a surprise? Not really. There we go. Now we can verify that by saying groups and Dennis. And there's all the groups. That user needs a password. We go PASSWD for who, for Dennis, hit enter. Give myself a password. Confirm that password. There we go. Now, if you was interested in making Nano, if you prefer Nano, I actually do prefer Nano. I have to do a Google search every time I enter Vim or one of those other ones. You could run these commands right here, and it would actually just make it the default. However, I have found that you end up typing in Nano anyway, so I'm not sure I understand. The wiki shows this way right here, and it's actually the way I prefer. Like I said, you can do these, and it doesn't hurt a thing. Either way, I'm going to editor Nano by sudo. By sudo is a program that will check whatever changes you make against how it should be. The syntax, I believe that's called. See right there, that would have been a mistake. Gotta have that colon. Go to end, hit enter. Go down here and uncomment the wheel group. I'm gonna go back down here. Let me see if I can do this. Should be able to just copy and paste it. Copy and paste. Control-Shift-V, and there it is. Control-O to write it out. Enter to confirm. Control-X, get out of there. Control-L, clears the screen. Alright, so now we need to make sure that we enabled our network manager so that we can get online. Paste. System enable network manager, the capital N with the capital M. That's done. Control-L. Now we're going to run the make init CPIO command. I selected the Linux LTS kernel when I did the base install. I'm going to run that against make init CPIO. Control-Shift-V, enter. And we're going to build a RAM file system. And now I'm going to scroll back up to the top. Well, actually, I'm going to install grub and then go back up to the top. In legacy mode, you'd run pacman-s grub. One of the changes right here, that's legacy only. We're in UEFI mode, so I'm going to install grub and EFI boot manager. And there's not a chance that I'm going to run ever that machine with that size hard drive. It could be done. I'm not going to do it. You'll need this program called OS Prober, which will aid in that. So I'm going to copy. Go back over here. Control-L to clear the screen. Control-Shift to paste it. And it's going to ask me to verify, and I'm going to say, yep. Now, while that's doing that, we're going to go back up here where we formatted the disk, partitioned them. Under UEFI, I'm going to make a directory right here. Go back down here and Control L to clear the screen, Control Shift V. Now we're going to make a directory. We're going to call it mkdir /boot /EFI. Now let's mount that to SDA1. Boom. Now I can go back down to the bottom and we have a place for the install the boot loader. Right here. Grub install. Copy. Paste. Hit enter. That goes by so much quicker than the BIOS did. Now the grub make config is the same, whether you're in UEFI or legacy. I'm going to go ahead and install my desktop. Alright, so I can start right there. Pacman S. Copy. Paste. And that's already got a space. XOR driver, server, apps, and xkill. Copy. Paste. Does not have a space. We'll create one. So the xranger comes in, xfontset comes in, and xclock. Paste. All right, now I should be able to hit enter. It's going to tell me there's a bunch to do, but it's going to do it pretty quickly. Next step, we're going to get xfce, xf user dirs. Okay, so that was pretty good. Now I'm going to copy my desktop, xfce. Let me Control L to clear that screen. Control Shift V puts it in there. And I'm going to get one more, xtg, I think that's utils. Alright, I'm going to hit enter. Uh-oh. You got to put in pacman space -s so it knows what to do. That was embarrassing. 54 meg download, that won't take long. Next, we're going to need a desktop manager. Might as well go ahead and just pack that in there right now. I'll copy and paste that. So I had somebody tell me that they watch a lot of these videos on their cell phone, and that could I keep that in mind. Let me clear the screen. Control Shift B should type in my greeter. Yep. All right, that was quick. Let me enable that service. Paste. Like DM. That's got a sim link to say it's done it. All right. Whisker menu. I'm going to close out of this. Save. Go back to here. Oh, this is for the volume, which I know I'm going to need. Control L to clear the screen. Pacman space -S. Control Shift V. Enter, please. We want to have a volume applet and we want it to work. Control L to clear that screen. Okay, now I'm going to install some software. Before we ever even boot into the system, this stuff will be there.
Shift V. Make sure you got a space down there. Space. You got a space right there. That has to do with the way I'm copying it here. So you need a space. You actually start there, and now you want to install VirtualBox. And all its dependencies that I'm going to need. You did require space. I think I got a bigger gap now. I need to go back and change it. Space, PC Man FM. Copy. These are programs that I just like to have right off the bat because I know I'm going to use them. InPlayer, SMPlayer, not so much, but they do bring in some utilities and whatever else you might need. So let me see, where's that space? I see it up So we've enabled the network manager. One thing when I reboot into the laptop, I'll have to run nm, let's see, nm, network manager tool user interface, nmmu. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now I've got a bunch of general stuff that we could go ahead and get. And if you worry about being too much, it'll tell you. It'll just say there's error and just take stuff out. But these are a bunch of general utilities and archivers and lists that I put together that's, I think, phenomenal. So user guides, I've already got that. Alright, I took that out. Do it now before I get too much better. You honestly I'll be using time shield. I thought I had edited this. I guess I missed that. Apparently. Alright, gonna do the face. I'll try to do it down.
You know, this might fail because I didn't sync the databases. 4.2 gigabytes, 1 gigabyte download, 4.2 gigabytes installation. It'll take a minute. What I was going to say was the people watching on a cell phone asked me to make sure that the fonts were large enough so that they could read them. And I apologize to all those folks. I really didn't, may have thought about it and thought I considered it, but apparently I didn't. So hopefully this font here will be bigger. I got a lot of stuff in here to install first. Okay, so it's downloaded the remainder of the packages here and it's starting to install. I went all the way down through this list. First, you saw me get my software selections that I need. Then I went through some general stuff. Some of the stuff I need to hook an iPhone up to, or Android phone up to a computer. Some rescue stuff. Stuff I already had, I took out in the line command. Then I went through the multimedia and installed a bunch of codecs and, a lot of stuff. The networking, I went ahead and got a lot of this stuff because I am on a laptop. Went ahead and got my selection of fonts that I've put together. I have some more fonts that I do like to use sometimes, but this is a lot. I went ahead and downloaded what I'll need for the printing if I decide to print something off of the laptop. Then next, as soon as this gets through, I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to start these services, but I will enable them. All right. We're through down here. I'm going to get back down here, Control L the screen. Now we're going to enable. Arch just changed this command. And if you didn't know, so we're going to enable this one. Then you'd get an error. All right. Now I'm also going to enable my Bluetooth, which I think these may enable themselves. Control Shift V. All right. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. There is some other things that I'm going to do, like install Yay, but I'm not going to do that here. Just close out of that. Save it. Open this back up. I'm going to Control L to clear the screen. And I think I'm ready to reboot the other machine. Yep, I think so. Well, actually, Control D is the same as typing exit. And then I'm going to umount space hyphen capital R space /MMT. And when I type in reboot, it should say that the connection is closed. Reboot. It'll say the connection is closed. But the host remote machine is now rebooting, and I'll have to put my password in and log in. And that's how you do it. So it says right here, even gives me that connection and says it was closed. Connection to 192.168.118 is closed. Thank you very much for watching. This was very, very nice. I just did what would have took me probably an hour and a half with all that typing. Just being able to copy and paste. How beautiful is that? Or it's just 10 times more beautiful to me now. Okay, so we booted into the xfce on the Toshiba laptop here. You just watched me do the entire installation. And I did it all from the terminal. Let's see. Let's start Well, let's start one that's actually got there's a other HP scan. Under Office, I got the Libre Office Still. I got the full suite there. Under Multimedia, I got the Asunder CD Ripper, Audacity, Brasero, DVD NG, GUVC View, Handbrake, K3B, Caden Live, MPV Player, OpenShot, Parole Media Player. That's an xfce default Pulse Audio Volume Control. I got it, works right out of the bat or box. Shotcut, Simple Screen Recorder, SM Player, and VLC. Under Internet, I got my Firefox and Qbit Torrent. Under Graphics, I got Blender, Krita, Nomax. Those are the three that I asked for. Under Education, that's LibreMath. Under Accessories, I got ClamTK for a virus scanner, GNOME Disk, a PCMan FM file manager, Calculator, HP Device Manager, Redshift, Xarchiver, and that was under Accessories. Under System, I got BleachBit, Cool Retro Term, File Manager, Gparted, GRSync, Hardware, that's HTOP, Manage Printing, Print Settings, System Monitor, System Profiler and Benchmarker, Task Manager. Okay. That's everything I had typed in. The only thing I haven't done yet is install Yay and then install the packages I need for what I need. Let's see. Under System Monitor, Fresh Install, we got 4 cores, 4-core processor. We got 16 gigabytes of RAM, and we're using clearly under a gigabyte, not quite 800 megabytes of RAM. And the CPUs are hovering, they're bouncing up and down, under 10% though. They're all doing pretty good. This is actually a pretty nice laptop. We'll set it up and he's going to use, probably Caden Live. Under, let's see, that would be under Multimedia, Caden Live, right here. He's got a lot of videos and pictures and such that he's taken from his scuba diving, and he's going to be probably using Caden Live to put together some videos and edit them and all. I think this computer will be just fine for that. So that's going to conclude this video. That's it. You saw me install from the internet and logged on and did it through SSH, the secure shell. So all I had to do was copy and paste. What a joy. Tedium is gone. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.